So where did GMP come from? Well, GMP started around 70 years ago, and it really came out of quite a serious incident where pharmaceutical products were contaminated, and this led to a large number of people being injured or killed. Regulations were then set up to try and stop this ever happening again. So GMP forced the safety and quality issue 70 years ago. Is it really relevant now in 2016? Well, yes, it is. You take a medicine entirely on trust. You need to be sure that medicine is efficacious and safe, and any side effects are well understood and documented. If a pharmaceutical project is impure or not the right medicine, this can have very serious consequences. GMP sets out to ensure drug products are safe, pure and effective. Even today, we can see examples of what can happen when GMP fails, and on this slide are two fairly topical examples. In both cases, the medicines were taken or administered totally on trust and that they would be safe and effective. In the first example, a heart drug was contaminated with an anti-malarial drug. Patients taking the heart drug ended up taking 10 to 20 times the safe dose of the anti-malarial. This resulted in the deaths of around 100 plus patients. In the second case, 3 premature babies were killed by blood poisoning, and this was caused by a bacterial contamination in IV drips. So GMP really covers all areas of the pharmaceutical supply chain: manufacturing, formulation, quality control, packaging, shipping, etc. And some of these we can see in the lists down here. The preparation of the API drug substance is often referred to as chemistry manufacturing control or CMC. So what do we seek to achieve if we look a bit more closely at CMC? So safety, the product is free of unwanted side effects. Identity, the product is exactly as it says on the label and related documents. Strength, the API that's claimed on the label is actually there, and it's the same potency or dose every time. Purity, that the product is free from contamination. Quality, the product meets all standards, expectations and performs as claimed, and it can be made consistently batch after batch after batch. And in order to satisfy the regulatory agencies that a company can do this, a so-called validated process is needed to support the CMC part of a new drug application, NDA, and that's the large bundle of evidence you put into a regulator to allow you to sell a new drug. So a validated process produces drug substance from given starting materials purchased to set specifications by an agreed reaction and process sequence. It's reliable, within tight controls on purity. Levels of solvents, catalyst residues, metals, etc. have to be demonstrated to be below acceptable levels, and these are levels that will cause no harm to the patient. The API has to be the same solid form every time, whether it's a salt, hydrate or a polymorph. It always has to be produced in a reliable way. This is very important in the way that the API formulates and dissolves when taken by the patient. It needs to be made in a plant that's qualified and GMP compliant, so that plant's properly cleaned, it has trained personnel, it's maintained, there's batch traceability, QA/Q procedures are in place, and it's been authorised by the appropriate authority to actually make that API substance. So let's have a look at a few of the GMP organisational controls we might find in a plant that would make APIs. So we'd expect to see a quality management system, that's policies, procedures, SOPs, guidelines and inspection programs, corrective and preventative actions for investigating deviations, competent trained personnel, quality control of materials that are brought in, segregation and storage of materials, quality control of plant construction and qualification, control of cross-contamination during manufacture. So in multi-purpose plant, that would mean decontamination, verification procedures, that the cleaning had been successful, and adherence to current good manufacturing practice. So regulations do change, and plants need to operate to CGMP. So, as we've seen from some examples earlier on in this presentation, failure to observe GMP can lead to very serious consequences for patients. So there could be serious toxic side effects or deaths from impure products. If that tablet contains a lower dose or none of the expected medicine, there could be poor or negligible control of illnesses and conditions. It can also lead to a number of serious business consequences. So there could be the removal of a license to sell a pharmaceutical product, restrictions of sales in certain geographical areas, certain manufacturing plants banned from supplying in some markets, and there can be quite large fines and criminal prosecutions. So in 2013, a generic pharmaceutical manufacturer was fined $500 million for GMP violations.